Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And BlueDragonFive.
And tonight, we're talking Mr. Banks. Yo! Alright, BlueDragonFive. So, while we were podcasting last night, something very much more important was happening. Something much more critical was happening in the world than us talking about Batman versus Superman. It was the Olympics, and it was the airing of the Moana Light the Torch TV spot. Most importantly, the Olympics, of course. I mean, granted, I should be watching the Olympics, and I'm not. I've just got a lot of podcasting stuff on my hands. But the Moana Light the Torch TV spot aired. So, Dragon, what were your initial thoughts when you saw this TV spot?
I liked it.
Yeah, of course, we were kind of vocally... There were certain elements of the original teaser trailer that we really liked. The main thing that I like from the teaser trailer that's carried over here is the use of Dwayne Johnson's tattoos, like the animation on the tattoos, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that in the full context of the movie. But the thing that I really like about this trailer is that it finally gives us some context on the personality of adult Moana. Of course, Dragon, you are a really big fan of the international trailer we got, which was basically it was a minute showcase of baby Moana using her magic water powers, kind of, creating this wall of water on the, on the beach. What do you think of that trailer in particular? You want to say anything about that one?
Yeah, I really liked it. Thought the animation was great. And Tiki, I didn't read it so much, and we're going to see how this plays in the movie, I guess, because I think I have more evidence of this in this thing we're about to talk about. But I get a sense that it's not that she can control water, but she has like a kingship with the water. Like the ocean, like she's friendly with the ocean, because it seemed like the ocean was kind of like forming around her and doing stuff. Like the ocean was a separate character almost. Okay,
well, yeah, definitely. Remember, the tagline is "The ocean is calling," so perhaps
that's the thing. I think the ocean's like really friendly with, and that's why in the trailer you're going to see her being kind of like. I think the ocean's like really good pals with Moana. I think that's why it kind of seems like she has to control of the ocean. No, she's just really good friends with it.
Also, Dragon, I think I was right with the theory. We're going to get into it, but anything else you want to say before we start going frame by this thing?
Yeah, sure. It's one last thing, I guess, is that I came out of this trailer, this little teaser, the Olympic spot, a lot more. I think a little more invested in the film because again, I think Moana is well represented in this thing. It basically it feeds into what I'm hoping the movie does because I mean I'm kind of hoping if we're lucky, Tiki, if we're lucky, I hope Moana is going to kind of read as kind of in the vein of character I really like. I hope like another like an Anna of sorts, because I really love Anna from Frozen. I'm hoping they kind of give us like a likable, kind of fun character, which we get a little glimpse of in this trailer. I'm just really hoping we're going to get that in the movie because I want to invest in this Moana character. It seems really interesting, and that the bonding with the ocean as a baby thing really did it for me. So it seems like it's all building towards us really caring and rooting for Moana, which is all I can really hope for with this movie.
Okay, so. Yeah, with that in mind, let's jump right into the trailer. We start after the Disney logo. There's only ocean.
Yes.
Okay, so we get a good glimpse of the dynamic between Moana and Maui in this trailer that I don't think was present. Because remember, in the trailer, Moana, in the teaser trailer that we got, Moana says a grand total of one word to Maui, and that word is dragon. So
yeah, pretty much more. Basically, she's kind of looking at Maui like an eye chart, like we all were, just kind of looking. Okay, this guy, we don't know what to make of him here. We don't know what to make of this movie based on that first teaser trailer.
Mm-hmm.
Here we got Maui doing some cool stuff. It's also
okay. What do you think of this? I think there's a tiny bit of controversy over Maui just straight up throwing Moana into the ocean.
Well, I mean, I love the punchline towards the end of this thing where we see kind of Moana having such a friendly relationship with the ocean that it puts her back on the boat all nicely. And yeah, I think because of that, it's fine, and we'll see like how. I mean, I'm sure you can assume that she can swim, but I mean, then again, in the ocean, kind of vast. It might be like a comic thing of like just going to throw her off because just to prove a point. Maybe.
For sure. I think we need a little bit more context behind this joke, but
and besides, I mean, now it might not
like
be
a snap. Like, oh man, okay, they're gonna go with that. It's very slapstick. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, look, Maui, I mean, they're not going to be the best of buddies from the get-go. You get a sense that it's going to be a lot of her convincing him to be the hero. I'm getting a sense, or at least be a good guy.
Mm-hmm. And we definitely get that in the trailer here. Just Maui eating the banana.
That is a weirdly proportioned banana.
So I'm not going to freeze frame on it. Okay, so I love this, Dragon. This is probably one of my favorite elements of the trailer here. I love the use of the tattoos. I'm really excited about it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, look at that. Look at it. It's so creative. It's like, it's almost 2D. It's definitely like their way of incorporating a style of 2D animation into this movie.
Yeah, it's 2D on a three-dimensional surface.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love how it kind of has the style of old, like, 1960s educational Disney shorts.
I love how you can see, like, the tattoo ink moving. It's not just like random animation. It's like actually the ink is reading in the design there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, this is great. This is great.
Yeah, this is what CT. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is why I'm starting to kind of get like what I'm hoping for with this movie. Is that it's a really charming, little likable bit where she's saying Maui, Maui. Right here is kind of the premise of the movie, which I'm really hoping it's going to be about. Kind of a somewhat of a, not as much of a buddy adventure as like Zootopia, but somewhat of a kind of like, you know, this guy's like saying, "Oh, I'm not going to help," and her just kind of basically playing towards his ego of like, "Hey, help me save my home from this giant volcano god threat." And he's like saying, "Maui, Maui," just playing to his ego. And basically, she's the smarter one of the two of these guys, and you know, she's going to be holding all kinds of the brain cards. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, this is absolutely my favorite, like, little element of the movie, and it's what sold me on Moana as a character element of the trailer. I mean,
exactly. I'm hoping that's definitely gonna be a fixture of the film, because that could be really good for seeing their dynamic play out, but also getting us to really like Moana, because again, title character, we should care about her.
Right. I think Disney is being, like, I want to say they do have a strategy to why. I mean, obviously, I think the more cynical strategy is like, well, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is the star. We need to focus on the star power. But having said that, I do think Disney is kind of like strategically, like, they're not playing all their cards just yet with the main hero. And I think they're keeping other things close to the vest as well with this movie, including the main villain, which we'll talk about. So. Okay.
These are cool.
They kind of remind me of Shy Guys from the Mario Brothers franchise. Just in the design of the mask.
Not sure about that, but I do love just the idea of these kind of these sentient tribal coconuts.
And they all have different designs, like different paintings on their faces to reflect their character. That's great.
I think this is a really creative and awesome design. I can't wait to see these guys in action. These look really fun.
Okay, let's talk about this guy. Dragon. This is where my prediction comes into play. So there's a crab monster that's going to be an antagonist. It's a 50-foot crab monster, and it's going to be an antagonist in the movie. And I assume it's a servant of this character right here. This character, Dragon, is listed on Wikipedia simply as unnamed fire god or something like that. If you want to go back and rewatch the podcast that we did initially where I was laying out all the Tiki Room gods and goddesses and stuff like that I thought may be connected to the movie, because remember, Maui, of course, is connected to the Tiki Room, at least in Disneyland. They do have a Maui figure in the Tiki Room. And, Dragon, I called this. I think this villain right here is Pele, the goddess of fire and volcanoes.
I remember that from Lilo and Stitch too. I think they one of the various Lilo and Stitch properties. They mentioned that god.
Pele is actually one of the most common Hawaiian gods in terms of, like, you'll see it mentioned a lot. You'll see it just kind of brought up in casual conversation within Hawaiian culture and stuff. I definitely think this is. If this isn't Pele, I'd be surprised.
Well, let me ask you this: do we have an ocean god in the Tiki Room?
An ocean god. Okay, yeah, we have Tangaroa Roo, who's the Tangaroa Roo. There's the goddess of wind and the goddess of rain. Tangaroa Roo is the goddess of wind, and then Hina is the goddess of rain. And together they form the ocean.
Well, I mean, I'm getting a sense with their, again, it seems like the ocean's going to be kind of a viable character in itself in this film, so I think maybe that's what's going to kind of come to Moana about, you have to stop. Basically, what they might do, and this might be interesting, and this is a guess at what the movie might be getting at, Tiki,
Mm-hmm.
is it might be, okay, Moana, obviously you're kind of happy-go-lucky. As a kid, she had this magical experience with the ocean, which probably seeded in her mind that, the ocean's kind of a living thing. Everyone's just like, casually say, oh yeah, the ocean's a living thing, and then she kind of realizes, oh, wait a minute, the ocean actually is a living thing, and the ocean comes to her, kind of in some way communicates to her that, well, yes, the volcano threat your place, your home's facing is actually it's a sentient kind of it's one of the gods. It's not like an actual force that you could stop, and you're going to need to find another tiki god to help you stop it.
Sure.
Maybe a guy named Maui. I'm not saying it's going to be exactly Maui, but points you got to seek out some help here, and it's up. I'm placing this in your hands because who else do I trust? This one person who I've had kingship towards. I'm getting the sense that might be point is like personifying the kind of the tiki gods in a way. It could be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I already broke down, if you want to see my whole breakdown of all the characters, you can go back and listen to the podcast we did. I might put a link to it in the description. Of course, one of the missed opportunities they might have is if they don't show Tangaroa, who is the father of all gods and goddesses, and in the Tiki Room, he comes as a giant tree. So I feel like Tangaroa would be an easy thing to do, not necessarily as a main character, but just as an Easter egg, kind of like have this giant tree come to life for like just a second in the background, something like that. I don't know.
Well,
but anyways, Dragon,
who narrates the Tiki Room? Which Tiki guy is that? Is that Tangaroa?
Tangaroa is Tony the Tiger, Thurl Ravenscraft.
Okay, I just want to make sure I get the names. Right. So Tangaroa might be kind of our Mr. Exposition for the film.
He could be. Don't hold your breath on it, though, because there's no casting on him or anything. I'm saying Tangaroa is, if they're going to use him at all, he could be like an Easter egg, or he could be like a device that's mentioned, but you don't necessarily see him.
I'm saying he could be like the rock trolls for the film,
Or something, something like that. I mean, I don't want to put any ideas in your head that aren't going to pan out and be true, but Pele, if this character that we're seeing in front of us isn't named Pele, it's certainly inspired by Pele. That's all I can say.
Well, yeah, I just love the idea of that, because I knew there was going to be like a volcano threat, but seeing it kind of personified in this really cool way seems really neat.
Yeah, in the Tiki Room, they have it kind of like they're all kind of tiki statues, Yeah. And with Pele, she's kind of a tiki statue where the top of her head is a volcano, and she gives her little dramatic speech, and then there's this pyrotechnic effect that pops out of the volcano. You see a little flame pop out, so that's pretty cool. That's
what are you betting on for the voice? You betting female or male voice actor?
I would say female. I definitely say female.
Okay, well, we'll see how that pans out.
Okay, so let's
this just sets up some kind of like some fun kind of sportsmanship conduct.
Yes,
I guess.
yes.
Some fun, they used to kind of like having kind of like a fun dynamic where it's gonna be like trying to score points at one another, perhaps. Like
throw points.
If we're lucky, but I don't think we're that
lucky. Okay. What do you think of the music?
Well, now I gotta see it less trailery. I gotta see it in action in the film. I can't really judge it based on that. I mean, it seems okay. It just doesn't really communicate what I'm kind of looking for yet.
Okay, I mean, you know me, I'm a big fan of Lin-Manuel Miranda ever since I visited. I kind of took a look at Hamilton about a month ago. I've been really getting into In the Heights as well. And I also even checked out Bring It On the Musical, which he wrote the lyrics for. So I'm a big fan of this guy, and I think he's going to bring a lot to the soundtrack. I like that they're only showing a snippet of one song and they're not giving away anything. I hope the songs in this movie are going to be more spread out than they were in Frozen, where in Frozen you barely got anything after Let It Go besides the rock troll song, but I digress. Dragon, right here, this shot of Maui it very much reminds me of what they do with Genie. I think Maui's going to break the fourth wall to a certain extent.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a freeze frame. I don't know if that just necessarily communicates breaking the fourth wall.
What it communicates to me with this is that Maui is doing some sort of setting where it looks to me like he might be talking to the audience, just because of the background in front of him is kind of just this floral background. It just sort of looks like, I don't know. It's just a guess. It's just a guess.
I love how his hook lights up right there. It looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's some good action shots here. I've kind of heard her landing, but and throwing the spear. Finally, just everything but her throwing a spear is now shown.
This is a beautiful shot right there.
Yeah, pretty neat. And I want to guess it's the occupants leaving the volcano imminent island.
That would be a good guess. And again, I love how vast the ocean is. I think the ocean is just going to be like, when we see it in the movie, I'm sure there's going to be shots that they're leaving out of this marketing that are just going to blow us away with how photorealistic this water looks. Okay. Light the torch, Dragon, because Olympics and whatnot. Oh, shoot. I'm sorry, this trailer goes really fast. Okay. So I don't know. Like you said, it's like I wish we would see even more of Moana's personality, but I think just this gave us I think she's very brave, she's very but she's also very fun at the same time. It's like a good mix of bravery and just and a sense of humor.
Yeah. And now doing kind of his dive here and his shape-shifting ability. Yeah, put into good use.
I like how they use the shape-shifting ability in this trailer as opposed to the other one.
The first one was just randomly, okay, so we can shapeshift now. And
like, okay, so that's a thing. All right.
So here, like, it's set up at the very beginning. Moana mentions, like, oh, yes, you're the Maui, the god who can also shapeshift. Like, it's pretty much mentioned. Like,
right,
okay,
right.
Where it's coming from. It's his power, okay.
Again, this looks like a fantastic shot, man. Like, I would be down to go to an IMAX theater to see something like this. It's just like the ocean is so all-encompassing as he's diving down. Uh-oh, sorry. Yeah, then we see him shapeshift. You there?
Yeah, I'm here. He's taking his time landing, I can see.
Yeah, I know. I apologize. Dive right in. All right. I mean, we're pretty close to the end. Yeah. Okay, so we just have this little bit where Maui throws Moana into the water.
And this is what I'm talking about with the ocean. I love it. This scene's really... I'm convinced the ocean's like sentient, like really palsy with her. That's why. And so basically, he throws her in. Nope, ocean does... Oh, I'm going to help her. I'm going to put her back in a little perch here. And this Maui says, well, I gave it a shot. Just like, probably just tries to throw her in again. And like, oh, okay, I'm not getting rid of this girl. We're going on an adventure.
I mean, you're right. It's really well timed. It's like the ocean wastes no time at all. It's like, nope, you're not throwing her in. She's going right back out.
I'm sure there's going to be no buffering in the film, but
Well, of course, yeah. Oh boy, sorry. Apologize for that, folks. Okay, so anything else? They ended on the chicken. They ended on the chicken once again. I'm sure you're so thrilled about that. Okay, well, I'm gonna end this this buffering mess.
Yes, we are experiencing interruptions. Thanks for your help. Not.
I know.
Anyway, but yeah, overall it does looks good. Again, I'm loving kind of the still building on this ocean dynamic. We get to see some interesting stuff. We're getting definitely more tattoo animation, which is good. And then again, it seems to set up the dynamic a little. Just gives us enough of an inkling. Again, it's not really even a full trailer. It's just like for a little teaser thing. It gives us just the right points that it's spoiling the movie. I mean, we already knew a volcano thing's going to come into play, and now we see it's personified, which is cool. So it's just enough to kind of build up more hype for the film. That's not just like kind of random, beautiful animation and a trailer. It's just not really telling us anything about our protagonist.
Right.
So here we actually got some good stuff, kind of hinting at plot. I mean, we also get a lot of really cool design stuff, like sentient tribal coconuts and lava monsters and shape shifting and all that cool stuff.
Yeah, it genuinely feels like an adventure. It's not just like a showcase. Like, hey, look, we got The Rock. Did you guys know The Rock's in this movie?
And he can dance too.
Yeah. Right. Did you know The Rock? Yeah. Okay. Just so you guys know, The Rock's here. All right.
And also the chicken's voiced by Kevin Hart.
Oh God. No, the chicken's actually voiced by Alan Tudyk, which is the one thing that gives me hope for that character.
That is Alan Tudyk's a good. He's a good cast.
He voices like 3 characters on Star vs. the Forces of Evil. role.
Oh yeah, Alan Tudyk he's got his own show right now. Well, he and Nathan Fillion are doing a show together called Con Men. That's I guess it's their own project that they've been working on. I guess there's been advertisements have been coming out about it recently. It's basically like a parody of kind of Firefly fame for the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, but yeah, overall the trailer looks promising. A lot more promising than that first one.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I'm sure there will probably be one more theatrical trailer released between now and November, so we'll definitely have our opinions about that.
Yep.
And yeah, stay tuned. This is definitely one of the movies that I'm most anticipating this year. And Dragon, I know you're hesitant to give Lin-Manuel Miranda's work a chance because of the hip hop thing. I understand that, but trust me, this guy is going to be amazing for this movie. I'm calling it that this is going to be one of the best soundtracks that we've ever seen in a Disney movie if this guy does it right, because he has really blown me away with the three musicals that he's written so far in his career. So
Aladdin has really good music in it.
Well, I'm not saying the best Dragon. I'm saying it's up there with some of the best. You know what I mean? Like, I really feel like if we hit it right, if he hits it right, what I'm worried about is I want the characters themselves to have songs. I don't want it to just be Lin-Manuel, like, kind of playing the Phil Collins role of, like, I'm singing over the emotions. You know what I mean? So that's the one thing I'm worried about with the soundtrack. I'm sure the songs will be amazing regardless, but I want to hear the characters sing them in addition to Lin-Manuel as the narrator. But... okay.
Oh, wait, let me ask you this real quick. Would you like to call any Lilo and Stitch Easter eggs you're hoping to see in the movie?
Oh, okay.
Because you know they're going to be there.
Okay, let me see.
How do you think they work any references in? Like, it could be any minor thing, even like plates and cutlery. It can even be that.
Okay, like I'm guessing maybe the Ugly Duckling book.
I would love to see that in there.
The Ugly Duckling book would probably be the thing I'd be looking for the most.
Personally, I want to see an animated Cobra Bubbles in the deep background. Just the random in the very deep background. There's like a little, you see kind of a random guy in a suit in the hot climate.
Right. Oh god. I doubt we're gonna see any of like the sci-fi alien part of Lilo and Stitch, of course.
But you know, it would be great though if they could use in some way, kind of have like, you know, the turn off when you get to Lilo and Nani's house and Lilo and Stitch. Remember like that bit from Lilo and Stitch, was like, "Don't turn the corner, don't turn the corner."
Right.
If we can see that kind of that shriek of some. Well, maybe not that, like kind of like an homage to like kind of that turn-off corner.
In some capacity, I hear what we're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's kind of a try. I'm not realizing that it's less modern Hawaii scenes, but you know what I mean, just like kind of like an homage to kind of. So I want some geography from Lilo and Stitch to be in there. Some familiar sets of some kind. Like also maybe like Gantu's waterfall location, perhaps. That's more of the series, but you know, like little like some nice subtle touches. Sure, but I think the Ugly Duckling book would be good, or at least an ugly duckling if there's like a lone duck walking by. That
lone duck, yeah, for sure.
Or the frog that Stitch keeps running into and then he saves in the third act.
That'd also be a good option, right?
The frog and Cobra Bubbles now it's not modern day Hawaii. I don't know. Still think working like Cobra Bubbles or Pleakley in a hula dress somewhere. Be ridiculous. Actually, you know what they could do? They could just have Nani in there subtly worked in.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, they could actually have. Yeah.
Go ahead.
They could actually have Nani and Lilo in the scenes, like in the back, and they're kind of their traditional garb, or like in the garb, it'd be CG rendered Nani and Lilo, perhaps. And if they really worked hard,
I don't necessarily think they could do Lilo unless it was like an older Lilo, because Lilo has like the distinct design and the round face and eyes and everything. But Nani is a much more kind of like traditionally designed human character. And I could see Nani just blending into the background really well.
I'm saying they could just have a kid with kind of Lilo's get up there, the red and black.
Okay, right. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
And if they like either give the kid a doll that looks like Stitch or something, like a little blue dog or something, like maybe it's like based on Dean DuBois' dog,
or the Pudge doll.
Oh yeah, well yeah, sure.
Okay, all right. Anyways, so. Dragon, I'm really excited for this thing. Like I said, it's up there with something like The Founder is one of my most anticipated movies of the year. And of course, like Rogue One, that's kind of imminent, although I think Disney's been botching the marketing on that, but that's a whole different podcast. Anyways, thank you for joining us, guys, and stay tuned for more.